Well, hey, how you doing tonight? My name is Rusty Morris, and I'm an Air Force Mustang and OEF veteran. And I want to welcome you tonight to Veterans in Bars Getting Bourbon. I hope you enjoy this show. Cheers. Welcome back. I have a great special guest this evening. It's Miss Sarah Meeds from the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance. She is the Military Outreach Manager and the Program Lead for Vet Excel. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
And before we get started, we want to also welcome our bar guests. Welcome, bar. We're glad you're here. Yeah, cheers to you guys as well, all right? They're not cheering back.
Cheers.
There they go. Now they're cheering. We finally got them in the spirit of things. So, obviously you noticed our awesome drinks that we have, and we want to make sure you see how we got them. So let's cut to that bit, please. Well, as you know, part of this is we like to choose a specific bourbon for our special guests. And tonight our special guest is Miss Sarah Meeds with the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance. Say hi.
Hi.
Right. So tonight the bourbon I chose for her is Four Roses Small Batch. The reason I chose Four Roses Small Batch is because this bourbon, just like Miss Sarah, is a sweet, mellow, delicate, and beautiful, but it also has thorns, like the warrior she is. So tonight we're going to make a Martyrs Manhattan with this. Cool?
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to start, if you don't mind, just giving us some ice here. So you're doing that. Grab the secret ingredient to go along with. So in the Martyrs Manhattan, what I always like to do, gotta do some ice. Let's put some more ice in there. Just load that sucker up, all right? We like a lot of ice. We like our drinks cold. Maybe you don't. Roses don't like it cold, huh? All right. So we pour a little bourbon to taste. Now I like a heavy hand of bourbon. Go ahead and pour your bourbon to taste. So in the Martyrs Manhattan. Be that warrior.
That's that mellow side.
Be that mellow side. There you go. The delicate side, right? All right. Awesome. So the secret, and this is a secret, right? We want to spike this up a bit. So we're gonna put a little dew in there. Or a lot of dew, whatever you prefer. Just a touch of sweet vermouth. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot of sweet vermouth. You don't want to get too sweet. Can I pour yours, or you want to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So we want to do just a tad bit, just a little bit to get that flavor of that sweetness of it. And of course, I always go with 2 of cherries. Let's give it a swirl here. Oh, you did. I was going to give you a.
Oh, I get an umbrella.
Yeah, it doesn't pop open anymore. There you go. Let's see how you like the Martyrs Manhattan. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Actually, pretty delicious.
Absolutely, it is. Welcome back. Again, we are with our special guest tonight, Miss Sarah Meeds from the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance, or TVCA. Sarah is the Military Outreach Manager and also the Program Lead for Vet Excel. Welcome, Sarah, again.
Thank you very much.
To get things started, we want to do 5 questions. We're going to talk about your military service, then we'll switch, take a break, and we'll go into 5 more questions, talking about your organization that you work for and the nonprofit of TVCA. So tell me kind of what brought you to joining the Army and why you made that decision.
So when I was 17 years old, I didn't really have the means to go to college. My family, didn't really graduate from college. There was no one to kind of push me in a direction. So I had a friend approach me who had met with a recruiter, and we had kind of discussed the National Guard. I didn't have any idea what the National Guard was at the time. Just still senior in high school. So at that time, you know, the recruiter's like, it's going to be fine. I'm going to take you to MEPS. We'll get you through the ASVAB test. You know, took the test. I passed. Get to MEPS. You know, go through the process. So it's a new adventure. So basically what brought me in was the thought of just an adventure in life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, where this could take me.
Yeah. And where did it take you? What job did you have, or what specialties did you acquire while you were in the service?
So initially I started out as a 92 Alpha, and that is an automated logistics specialist. So basically, as the military would sign out vehicles and do maintenance on vehicles, I would run the computer system that would process the vehicles, dispatch forms so they could sign them out, and then they would do the maintenance and they would bring them back to us and make sure everything was taken care of. So I started out there. But quickly I was integrated into the S4 section, which is basically our logistics management section.
Okay.
So I carried on through that. I deployed to Iraq. My property book officer, he was a chief warrant officer too at the time. He integrated me and just took me under his wing, and he's like, I really want you to learn the system, learn what I do. So he kind of transformed me into the MOS of 92 Yankee, which is more of the supply side, the automated property management. So after my deployment to Iraq, I came home and quickly I got employed as the property book non-commissioned officer. So basically I was his right-hand person. I did all the computer automated bookkeeping, tracked all the equipment, ordered everything that we needed for readiness. So, you know, it was a great experience through that. And then he was also my mentor. So then I decided that I wanted to be the mentor for those like me. Mm-hmm. And I became a 920 Alpha, which was a property book officer, chief warrant officer.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So with all those different specialties that you had, and you mentioned that you were deployed to Iraq too, what do you think was one of the ones that really stands out to you? What was the most kind of important one that really meant a lot to you personally?
Well, I would definitely say the 920 Alpha when
Okay.
I was a chief warrant officer. I actually deployed to Afghanistan as well. At the time, they needed a captain logistics officer, which is very different than a chief warrant officer property accounting technician. Mm-hmm. At the time in our brigade, I was the only qualified person with enough experience. So they took a chief warrant officer, I was a W1 at the time, and they put me in the slot of this captain, this logistics officer. So it was big shoes to fill, and however, I had the experience and the knowledge to back it up. So that deployment was amazing. I had great staff officers with me that support me. So I would say that was definitely the one. Awesome. That was the one that made it for me. It was an amazing experience.
Where were you stationed at in Afghanistan?
We were mainly based out of Bagram.
Okay.
And we had 10 or 11 different outstations, and then as our deployment progressed, we started closing down outstations.
Cool. And how about Iraq? When were you there in Iraq?
I was there all of 2004.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And I was in Tikrit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was an easy place. They had a pool, and I think they had barbecue every Friday night.
No, not in Tikrit, maybe
so
Balad, but
okay.
Yeah. I did a lot of traveling there as well. Did a lot of combat patrols, a lot of different missions on convoys and things.
Okay, cool. What do you think was one of your favorite medals or citations that you received while you were in service?
So as growing up through the ranks, you get the Army Achievement Medals, or you get the Army Commendation Medals, mm-hmm. and for different reasons. But at the end of my deployment in Afghanistan, I was awarded the Bronze Star Medal. And I think when I joined the military, I never really thought that I would stay in for the long haul. And taking that deployment was unexpected. And when I finally finished and I received that medal, it was actually from a Special Operations Command task force.
Wow.
And it kind of wrapped everything up for me as far as my career. I had done almost 15 years. You know, they actually saw my, you know, my passion had come out. I was able to do my job, and, you know, someone actually saw it and recognized it for what it was, and I felt really, really proud to have come as far as I did through the ranks, because I was a staff sergeant before I switched over to warrant officer.
Right. And
I was just really proud to get that award. I thought it was really significant to, like I said, coming from a special operations command.
And rightfully so. So that's really cool. So what do you think are kind of the top 3 takeaways that you gathered from your military experience?
So I would definitely say the relationships that I have built with people that are lifelong, the friendships that I have come across, and people that have the like mindset.
Okay.
You know, being able to share those same stories, the same experiences, and when you're feeling down or you're feeling sad and you feel like you need to connect with someone, those people will be there forever with you, because they share the same bonds that you will never have with someone in any other way.
Right.
So I definitely say the relationships, the experiences, the places I've been able to travel, the different countries I've experienced, the cultures, and then I would definitely say what I've learned through all the different schools and the leadership schools and the warrant officer schools, and, you know, just the basic ethics trainings or hazmat schools, you know, everything, all the training,
There's
the military.
always lots of training.
Yeah, everything that they put you through, I would definitely say I have come out on the other side with so much knowledge that I would have never gotten in any other capacity.
Yeah. What do you think are kind of your big life lesson? What do you still have in your life thanks to your military time?
I would say some good and some bad. You know, the relationships and things that you carry with you that can kind of support you, and things that you go through now, you know, as you're transitioning out or had been out for a while, and you can kind of relate back to some of the people that you've experienced those things with. And also, you know, some of the bad things and the memories you carry with you of the fellow soldiers that you've lost, and, you know, the memory and those things. But I would definitely say that, you know, just the strength and the discipline, the professionalism moving forward, I would say, you know, there's nothing like the brotherhood that you find in the military.
Right, absolutely. So, well, thank you very much for sharing about your military time. Now, we're going to take a quick break. We want to refresh our drinks, and we also want to highlight a Northern Kentucky talent. Every episode we like to highlight a Northern Kentucky talent, so we want to do that this evening as well. And then when we come back, we'll talk more about TVCA and the Tri-State Veteran Community Alliance and your role within that. Cool?
That
All right,
sounds good.
Sounds good. Cheers.
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 Seems that every time I'm happy, I leave. But each time I'm with you, boy, I can't help but dream of that homemade Cedar Sanctuary. till now. The future seems so scary, and I am tired of being a gambling lover, trading all my desires for something better. To sing is a memory, and you're the right key. Remember that torn up hotel stationery. It read, oh, I'm sweet on you. Sweet on you. Sweet on you. Oh, let's fly and not waste time. Oh, let's fly and not waste time. Oh, let's fly and not waste time. Wondering who's in, who's way, and if we're talking with our hearts or our brains. Believe me when I say
Well, welcome back. We're here with the amazing Miss Sarah Meeds from the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance. She's the Military Outreach Manager and also the Program Lead, or the Program Manager for Vet Excel as well. And so we're going to delve into that here in just a few minutes with the last 5 questions, or our 10 question set. But before we do, we always like to have a challenge. So if you're watching this episode, and you can, we're going to give you the answer, so don't freak out too much. But the name of this one is Name That Twitter, or Tweeter. Name That Tweeter, I think it would be called. So it's a tweet, it's a twit, it's a tweeter. Okay, so Name That Tweeter. So we'll have our President and CEO from Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance, John Clancy. He's going to read it here in just a few moments. And then we're going to ask the bar who they think that tweeter was. And then if you know that answer, and you can tag us on Facebook, and we'll put a Facebook post under North Kentucky Military Veteran Coalition. And under this episode, you list your name with the name of the tweeter, then we'll put you in for a prize pack. And we'll do a random drawing. You can watch the next episode to find out if you're a winner. And it's from one of our many coalition partners. All right, so at this time, name the tweeter. John Clancy, our President and CEO, take it away.
Hi, I'm John Clancy, President and CEO of the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance, and here's your tweet. A government shutdown will be devastating to our military, something the Dems care very little about. Who said it?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Trump. Trump, you're the winner.
Woo!
All right, so I hope you got that. Name that tweeter. Remember, you just put that underneath our episode under the North Kentucky Military Veteran Coalition Facebook page, and we'll put you in a drawing. We'll announce the winner next episode. So, Sarah, let's talk a little about TVCA, the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance, and your role in there. Tell me a little bit about what your organization is doing to support our military veterans and their family members.
So what we've established with the military outreach is we're going out and to connecting with all service members or former veterans who have kind of got the experience or the knowledge to, you know, better their careers or further their employment. We want to reach them and their families for resources that they may need or connect them to partner agencies that we've connected with. So the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance, that's exactly what it is. It's an alliance. It's a collaboration of community partners who have so many things to offer all of our veterans. So as my role as the military outreach manager, I connect with National Guard and reserves or airmen or anyone who's transitioning out. So we want to make sure that they come through our pipeline, and we are going to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful, to be long-term sustaining as far as employment goes or resources they need. We're going to make sure they have a proper resume, and then as they come through and we decide that they're a good fit for the Vet Excel program, they're going to meet up with a mentor, they're going to need some further coaching. We're going to make sure they are exposed to a lot of networking events, and then after that we're going to place them with the company and do a one-on-one site visit and make sure that it's a good fit for the company, it's a good fit for the veteran, and then we're going to stay with them and kind of follow up and make sure that they are, you know, in the place and suited for that position, and make sure it's a long-term sustaining position for them.
Yeah, it's like it's set up to be not only a job, but just a career. It's a long-term focus into something that's just going to be a perfect fit for them.
Right, right. And so we also want to make sure that if they are, you know, someone who's spent 20 years in the military or, you know, extensive amount of time in the military, that their skills are translated to the corporate world or to a position to where, you know, the company is understanding what the veteran is bringing to the table, and vice versa. So we want to make sure that we are connecting closely with the partners, as well as making sure we know the veteran, you know, what their personal needs are and their family needs are, and so that we can make sure that we are connecting them and bridging the military-civilian divide as well, and reintegrating them back into the community so that they, you know, their needs are not falling short, and, you know, then they can, you know, even reintegrating back into a city that they're not originally from.
Yeah, so they can come from anywhere, I guess.
Right.
It doesn't have to be local veterans or military, it can come from anybody.
Right.
So that's a great advice. If you know people across that's still in the military or transitioning out and they want to make Cincinnati their home, they should contact TVCA, it sounds like, especially if they want to be have a smooth transition into our local environment here. So I would recommend Northern Kentucky, but anywhere in the greater Cincinnati area is always a good place. So tell me a little bit about if you had just someone that's watching, maybe they have a cool $1 million that they just have laying in the bank. They're like, man, I don't know what to do with this money. I want to find a nonprofit to support. They chose TVCA. What would you do with that money?
I would develop some sort of prevention program. I've noticed that, you know, we have a lot of organizations in our partnerships where we do a lot of after the fact, after the situation has happened, we find resources to fix a situation. I would say prevention, you know, and finding out what the root problems are, more of an education piece and bringing them in at an earlier stage before things get to be out of control to where they're needing, you know, those resources that can fix their situations. So I know we can't catch them all at the right time, but at least if we could put something in place to where there might be a place to go or a person to call. I know we have that, in, like I said, when they're in the emergency situation, but you know, something different than an out processing transition where they're ready to go and they're in a hurry and they want to get home and they don't, you know, you don't want to pay attention because it's just you're ready to be done. Something that can really reach the veterans in a way that, like here in Veterans Getting Bourbon, you can connect to
it's good bourbon, by the way, just saying.
You can connect to other veterans in a way because it's a brother and a sisterhood that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Right, absolutely. So people out there, they want to reach you. What is the best mechanism? How can they get in touch with the TVCA? I
would say the LinkedIn, TVCA on LinkedIn or TVCA on Facebook. Our social media, obviously, social media is kind of the way to go nowadays. Yeah, so if they inbox us or they want to just post something, we're definitely going to respond right away. We're always monitoring those websites. Also check out the TVCA website, and you know, we've got plenty of veterans that are ready to respond and to always pick up, you know, whatever kind of need.
Well, I think that's an important point that you mentioned, that you said that there's always veterans to respond. So, you know, working at Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance myself, it is definitely a veteran-led, non-profit, independent organization. So if you want someone that understands what you went through, you want to definitely reach out to TVCA. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. We have Air Force, we have Marines, we have Army, we have males, we have females, we have combat veterans, non-combat veterans. We have, you know, a very diverse group there at the TVCA, and I would definitely recommend, you know, if someone is just looking for a place to sit down and have a beer or a bourbon with another veteran and kind of share your story.
I think we make that a rule. Anytime you say bourbon, we gotta drink.
Kill. Bullet.
If you just want to reconnect and share your story, we also have storytelling night. You know, the vet reflections, they can come out. I think it's a great way to network and kind of reconnect with other veterans that may have a similar story. I know the last vet reflections that we had, I met 2 people that were at the same location as me in Iraq at the same time. And it was remarkable. So, you know, you get to share those stories and things that kind of fall on deaf ears when you come home to speak to civilians.
Right. And it's amazing because it's you think of the military as being a wide network, but when it gets down to it, you run into people all the time. You have the same experiences and see the same things.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So if you had someone else that you can think of that I should invite on this show and share with our North Kentucky residents, who would that be? Who would be a good person that would be a great partner with the coalition? So
about 2 years ago, I got the opportunity to do a walkthrough with the Life Learning Center, and Robert Venable actually is the director of enrollment there, and he's also a Navy veteran. Actually knew him from years past before we kind of ran into each other again, and I couldn't believe that he was a Navy veteran, an Army veteran. But the program they have there was remarkable, and it takes someone from point A to Z, and in the end, you know, they come out and they do placement with them on employment and life coaching and things like that, and I just was really impressed by their program. Awesome. And they're located in Covington.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of the final question of our 10 question set here is, what else have I asked? What else do we need to share with the North Kentucky community?
One thing I would definitely hit on is children of veterans. I think there are lots of organizations that do things for those children, but I think when parents are deployed and they come home and the children are, you know, exposed to the life, maybe it's active duty when, you know, they're moved around a lot and things like that. There are just so many things that children can face as a, you know, as they say, Army brats or military brats. You know, they're exposed to things like that that other children aren't, and they're kind of brought into our community as well, and it's a brotherhood, sisterhood type of thing, and maybe there should be more networking things for children that are of that kind of demographic, maybe. To reconnect those children. You know, I had 2 small kids when I deployed to Afghanistan, and it weighed on them heavily, and it still does. And I've been home for almost 4 years. So I would definitely say, you know, more of an understanding of what they're going through and how they're feeling and when their parent leaves them and when they come home, and kind of reintegration for children as well.
Absolutely. And I absolutely agree. Me and my wife both retired military, and our kids served just as much as we did, because they had to experience everything we experienced one way or another. So that's absolutely a great point. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me tonight and being part of Veterans in Bars, Getting Bourbon. Also, I want to thank the bar patrons for being there. Yeah, awesome. If you want to learn more or just see a little bit about what we do at both the Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance and also with the Northern Kentucky Military Veteran Coalition, you can certainly check out our website. It's www.tristatevca, that's Victor Charlie Alpha.org. And also, you can check both the Facebook pages out, Tri-State Veterans Community Alliance or the Northern Kentucky Military Veteran Coalition, and I hope you do that as well. If you want more information, if you want to be part of TVCA or the coalition, you can certainly give us a call at 1-844-600-TVCA. That's 1-844-600-TVCA. Well, thank you once again, Sarah. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers.